If you're hearing that 2026 is going to be a more balanced market with more inventory, that's not wrong. It's just not Connecticut. And if you're buying or selling in Fairfield County in 2026, that distinction matters more than ever. And that's why in this video, I'm going to break down why supply still can't break loose here, even with demand so strong, and how to win in 2026. I'm Jennifer Lockwood, and I help buyers and sellers across Fairfield County make informed, timing-aware decisions. I focus on helping clients move past the broad market labels and understand what's really happening in the towns around the county, the neighborhoods that matter most to them. My contact is on the screen. Call or text me anytime if you're curious about the market or a particular town. Every year, as we head into a new market cycle, national housing predictions really do start to flood the headlines. For 2026, the themes sound pretty familiar. Modest price growth, slightly lower mortgage rates, more inventory, improved affordability, and a shift towards buyer leverage. And on a national level, some of that could very well be true. But here's the problem. That's not what's happening in Connecticut, and especially not in Fairfield County. What I always tell my clients is real estate is local. And in the Northeast, supply continues to be the driving force behind everything. In Fairfield County, pricing is being dictated by limited inventory, neighborhood desirability, and buyer competition, not national averages. Well-located homes in good condition are still absorbing really quickly and often with very strong terms. Mortgage rates might ease slightly, which can help confidence, but rates alone are not unlocking inventory here. Many homeowners are still sitting on very low rates, and that continues to keep resale supply pretty tight. You'll hear talk about increased inventory in 2026, and while we may see some homes come to the market, it's important to understand that more doesn't always mean enough. Inventory across Fairfield County remains below the pre-2020 levels. Affordability may improve on paper, but high price points, limited choices means buyers still have to be pretty decisive, prepared, and realistic. It's really a game about leverage. Who is holding the leverage? Leverage belongs really to the best positioned homes and the most prepared buyers. The takeaway for 2026 is pretty simple. You cannot make a smart move here based on national headlines. Whether you're buying, selling, strategy matters more than ever, and understanding a local supply, the timing, the town nuances, and the neighborhood dynamics is really what makes the difference. If you are relocating, download my free buyer's guide so you can understand the buying process here in Fairfield County. It is different across the country. First, what the headlines miss here in Fairfield County. The numbers show that the prices are still going up. Fairfield County's median single home sale price at the end of 2025 was $799,000, and that is up 8.7% year over year. All Fairfield County towns saw an increase in home prices. Some saw it more than others. When you look at all the suburban towns that are along the shoreline, they saw double-digit percentage increases in home prices. The other towns did see increase in home prices, just not the double digits. The only exception to the shoreline town that didn't see double-digit increase, it was a 4% increase, that would have been Norwalk. Supply is still tight. That is not changing. There were 1,282 homes for sale in Fairfield County at the end of 2025, and that is 3,600 homes less than in 2019. That's pretty dramatic. Fairfield County towns can stay brutally competitive because the inventory is so low. It also still behaves like a weekend market for the right listings. List to sale price ratio is 102.9%, so homes are selling over asking. Homes are on the market for about 31 days, so it's still a pretty fast market. When a home is priced right and checks all the boxes, the competition is immediate, and that's why it still feels like multiple offers in a weekend. Now, Fairfield County didn't flip into a buyer's market. It shifted into a market where urgency is more concentrated, and it's not on every property, and I can't say that enough. Pricing is key, especially when sellers think it's a seller's market and they price their home too high. There are homes that are sitting for various reasons, and typically the main reason is price. Next, let's talk about the real shift. Supply is still locked up. Fairfield County still has demand, but we don't expect a ton of inventory all of a sudden to hit the market. This isn't about unlimited demand, it's really about limited supply. When not enough homes hit the market, at the same time, competition compresses into weekends and offers tend to stack up pretty quickly. One of the reasons is move-up seller is basically frozen due to interest rates. So those people that want to move up to their next house, their 3% interest rate to jumping up to a 6% interest rate. The biggest supply issue in Fairfield County isn't just that people don't want to list. It's again that a lot of homeowners are sitting in low rates, and moving today would mean a much higher monthly payment. That payment shock alone is enough to pause and move. So when you compared, like I said, the 3 to the 6% rate, it could be hundreds of dollars. Fewer move-up sellers means fewer truly good listings are on the market. And when those homes don't come on, buyers move quickly and competition shows up fast. Also, rates have eased a bit, but not enough to affect supply. Rates are kind of a wild card right now. They dropped earlier this month, they ticked up some last week again, and it's still high enough that most homeowners that are sitting in 3 or 4% mortgages don't want to trade their payment for today's payment, which is close to 6%. Also, when rates drop, what happens? More buyers come to the market because it increases their affordability. Again, the issue is listings. Without a surge of supply, competition will increase. Also affecting supply is a lack of new construction. Fairfield County can't build its way out of tight inventory because there's simply not enough land left to build on. The county is largely built out, and most of the supply comes from small incremental projects like teardowns rather than large-scale new developments. While construction does add some supply, it tends to arrive slowly and in small amounts, which means it doesn't meaningfully loosen supply. Resale homes continue to be the primary driver of inventory and competition in the Fairfield County market. What does locked up supply look like? So when supply is constrained and buyers continue to actively look for homes, the market does respond. Homes that truly check all the boxes, meaning the right town, the right neighborhood, solid condition, move-in ready, realistic pricing, they will move quickly, and they often attract multiple offers and deadlines. At the same time, homes that are even slightly off, whether it's the pricing or the layout or the condition, they don't benefit from that same urgency. Those listings tend to stay on long enough for buyers to compare their options, and that's where leverage and negotiation can reappear for some buyers. Now let's talk about how this actually plays out on the ground, why some homes turn into weekend multiple offer situations while others quietly start to sit. First, the good ones still disappear fast because supply is still thin. So when supply does check all the boxes, it's not competing against tons of options, and that's why the best listings still move quickly. One example is that month supply of inventory is only 2.5 months, and that's the same exact amount it was last year, which means it will only take 2.5 months to sell the current inventory at the current sale rate. And this weekend frenzy is real, and it's attached to the scarcity and the quality, but not attached to every listing. So if a seller prices their home because they think it's a seller's market and they can name their price, those are the homes that will sit. A lot of times they look at what their neighbor got, thinking they could get the same price, and they overprice their house. Next is cash, and cash-like certainty is a competitive advantage right now. Nationally, cash buying has been unusually elevated. NAR does report that all cash purchases are about 26% of the home purchases over the last year. So how do you compete with cash? I did a previous video on how to make a strong offer in a competitive market. All the terms matter. It's not just price. It explains why a buyer could release that mortgage contingency in order to compete with cash. So even if you're not literally competing against full cash, you're competing against offers that feel safer to the seller, and you want to be strong. So it is all about the terms. The fewer contingencies, faster timelines, cleaner execution. Understanding those risks will benefit you as a buyer. In the end, it's still a weekend market for A-plus homes, but it's a slower market and more selective for everything else. Buyers have enough time to hesitate, and that's when leverage starts showing up for buyers. But some towns of Fairfield County still feels insanely competitive. It's because the best homes are still getting scooped up fast. But the market has changed in how it treats everything else. There seems to be two speeds, the speed for the A-plus homes and then all the other homes. Next, let's talk about the biggest day-to-day change buyers are feeling right now. That's buyer psychology and how it's reshaping negotiations in Fairfield County. First, stop treating every listing like it's in the same market. Fairfield County is a two-speed market right now. The A-plus homes still go fast, but the rest don't get the same weekend treatment. Don't think you had to bring bidding war energy to a home that's already telling you it's negotiable. The buyers who win here aren't the fastest everywhere. They're just the most decisive and strategic. Number 2, expect cash or cash-like certainty to be part of the competition. Even if you're financing, the goal is to feel as close to cash as possible from the seller's perspective. Third, where do you actually have leverage in Fairfield County? Leverage shows up when a listing sits long enough for buyers to compare if a home is hanging out past the fast-moving weekend market window. That's where better terms and smarter pricing conversation can start. In all Fairfield County towns, time on market is one of the most practical negotiation indicators buyers have right now. So it's really important to be aware how long houses are on the market. What is the simplest buyer game plan in 2026? Be fully ready before you shop, because the good homes can still move fast, but stay patient and strategic when a home isn't moving, because the shift is that not everything is getting rewarded anymore. The market is still competitive, but there are two speeds. Next, I'll break down what this means if you're selling or trying to move up, because this market is a lot less forgiving about pricing than most sellers realize right now. The new rule is you either win early or you start handing out the leverage to the buyers. When the market's in these two speeds, the first week matters more than ever. If you miss your window when the serious buyers are watching, your listing starts to feel like the one that didn't make sense. In sitting on the market, changing how buyers perceive you. The longer you're on the market, the more leverage the buyer could possibly have. You must price your home based on today's competition and on preparation. It really is key. Fairfield County still has overlist price outcomes, but that doesn't mean you can price your home aggressively and expect the same result. Understanding your local market in your neighborhood is imperative, because what the neighbor got for their home last year, if you're trying to move up, the rate lock-in trap is a real problem. Again, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of homeowners are sitting on low mortgage rates, and moving means trading into a much higher rate, which is one of the biggest reasons resale supply isn't really breaking loose right now. Even if you want to make the move and pay extra in that rate difference, how do you compete if you need to have a home contingency? You probably might have to sell your home in order to buy the next upgrade home. If you have to sell and buy at the same time, you can't just wing it. You need a timeline-based strategy that accounts for the two steps. Your home needs to be positioned to win early, and your purchase plan has to assume that the right replacement home will be available in 2026. The sellers who do the best in Fairfield County aren't the ones who list high and hope. They're the ones who plan the entire move like a sequence. You need to have a plan. Fairfield County hasn't shifted or cooled. It's operating under the same supply and demand pressure it has for years. Inventory remains locked up. The result is a market that rewards precision. Homes that are well located, well priced, and in strong condition continue to move quickly, often within a weekend, and sometimes with multiple offers. And at the same time, homes that miss the price, maybe not in the best condition or layout, create a different kind of opportunity. They stay on the market long enough for buyers to slow down and compare their options and possibly negotiate. For buyers and sellers, success isn't about reacting to the headlines. It's about understanding which homes will move immediately, how to position yourself to win those homes if you want them, and where real leverage exists when a property has been sitting. I'm Jennifer Lockwood. If you're buying, selling, or just thinking about a move anywhere in Fairfield County and just want to talk through what makes the most sense for you, your town, your price range, your timing, you can use the link in the description to schedule a time to connect with me, or call or text me anytime, and I can tell you that when you call that phone number, you will get me. This is what I do every day. I enjoy helping people feel confident about their next step. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.